Good evening, everyone, and welcome. It's great to see everyone in the chamber tonight. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. We'll start with introductions with our clerks.
Good evening. I am Christine Smith, clerk to the board. Welcome.
Good evening. I'm Barb Felder, Senior Admin Support, Clerk's Office.
Good evening and welcome. My name is Yvette Townsend Ingram, and I serve the Board of County Commissioners at large.
Good evening. I am Mecklenburg County Commissioner Elaine Powell. I represent District 1 in North Mecklenburg, Huntersville, Davidson, Cornelius, and North Charlotte. Welcome.
Good evening and welcome again. My name is Mark Jarrell. I've been elected by the people of District 4. I also have the honor of serving as chair.
Good evening and welcome. My name's Arthur Griffin, and I have the pleasure of serving as County Commissioner at large.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
My name is Vilma D. Leak, and I represent the most powerful district in this county, and that's District 2. Welcome to staff that's with us tonight. You've given us an audience. Thank you for being here. And we love you and appreciate you 100% plus 10.
Good evening, I'm Laura Meyer, and I represent District 5.
Good evening, I'm Susan Rodriguez McDowell. I'm elected by the people of District 6.
Good evening. I'm Mike Bryant, incoming county manager.
Good evening, Tyrone Wade, county attorney.
That sounds good.
All right, thank you. So those are the introductions. I'm going to do the invocation for those that choose to join. If you will bow your heads with me, please. We are thankful for this day. We're thankful for those that are gathered in this chamber and those who are not here. We are mindful tonight of our community. We are mindful of those who are some of our most vulnerable tonight that are struggling. And as we prepare to do this work, we ask for clarity of thought, clear minds. We ask to maintain a level of civility that continuously keeps the people in the forefront of our minds. We ask that we will keep our personalities out of the mix and keep the people first. These and all blessings we ask in your name. Amen. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, before we get started, there are a couple things I want to do. First, I want to acknowledge the absence of a couple of our colleagues that are not with us. Commissioner Dunlap is not with us, and Vice Chair Altman is not with us as well. They're probably most likely watching, so we want to give them a shout out and let them know we miss them, and we'll see them soon. Also, our county manager is absent tonight, but we do have our incoming county manager with us, and so I want to give her a shout out as well. We're going to take care of some items that we had in closed session that we need to take care of out in the public. At this time, the chair will entertain a motion to authorize the county manager to negotiate and execute all documents necessary for the acquisition of tax parcels 133-242-01, 133-242-02, and 133-242-03, plus or minus 2.73 acres, from Robert B. Maroff and spouse Deborah A. Maroff for a purchase price of $1,200,000 for park and recreation purposes. Is there such a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any in readiness? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion passes unanimously, Madam Clerk. Next, the chair will entertain a motion to authorize the county manager to negotiate and execute all documents necessary for the acquisition of tax parcel 163-021-55 plus or minus .467 acres from Joan P. Baker for a purchase price of $450,000 for park and rec purposes. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next on the agenda, we are going to move to awards and recognitions. We have 3 proclamations that we'll read. I will call, first is the proclamation for Emergency Medical Services Week. I'll call on Commissioner Powell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And while I see some of you in the audience, I want to express my personal gratitude to every single person that works for Medic. no matter what your job is. You make it possible to provide emergency services for Mecklenburg County. And so while I have so much gratitude, I have the feeling that I might like to ad lib here to add more to the proclamation, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to read it. So this is the Mecklenburg County, North Carolina proclamation. Whereas emergency medical services is an essential component of public health and safety, providing critical, often life-saving care to individuals in need. And whereas the dedicated professionals of Mecklenburg EMS Agency, paramedics, emergency medical technicians, telecommunicators, support staff, and administrators work tirelessly 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days per year to protect the residents and visitors of Mecklenburg County. And whereas EMS teams remain steadfast on the front lines during crisis and disasters, embodying courage, compassion, and resilience in service to the residents of Mecklenburg County. And whereas Mecklenburg County is proud to be home to one of the nation's leading EMS systems, consistently achieving exceptional patient outcomes and setting a standard of excellence in emergency care. And whereas it is both fitting and proper to recognize the contributions and sacrifices of our EMS professionals by designating a week in their honor. Now therefore be it resolved, the Mecklenburg County Board of Commissioners does hereby proclaim the week of May 18th through the 24th, 2025 as Emergency Medical Services Week. With the theme Medic Strong, we will call upon all residents to recognize and celebrate the contributions of our EMS professionals through appropriate programs, ceremonies, activities, and expressions of appreciation and gratitude. This 20th day of May 2025, Mark D. Jarrell, Chair, Mecklenburg Board of County Commissioners. So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any unreadiness? Hearing none, all those in favor, let's see by a show of hands. That is unanimous, Madam Clerk. I'm assuming JP is receiving? Please, and have some remarks too, please, and the team can come down if you want to as well. We'd love to shake your hands, but we'll let you get up to 3 minutes, JP. Or less. Yeah, you can just go and share your remarks and then come grab it.
So while my team joins us, first of all, thank you so much for this honor. It means so much to us at Medic for you to recognize us and the hard work that our men and women and that wear our EMS uniform do every day. Like the proclamation said, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, these men and women are here for you, ready in the matters and the moments that you need them the most. And I am so proud of the work that they do, and also so happy that you see them the way I do with the kind of pride that I have. So on behalf of the agency at Medic, thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Come receive the proclamation.
Everyone.
Come on, everybody. Everybody can come around and shake hands.
Thank you.
JB, thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
Totally appreciate you.
You're gonna look good in those
Thank
shirts.
you. Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
Come back, JP.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your service. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Always good to see you. Thank you so much. We're gonna do a quick photo.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you very much. Tighten up. Tighten up.
We'll let you go see you in that picture. Betty, you in there?
Yeah. Are you here?
Thank you.
We love Medic.
Thank you, everybody. The next proclamation is Foster Care Awareness Month, and I will call on Commissioner Leek.
Let me first say thank you for the opportunity to read this proclamation. For as I sit here, I grieve for those who fall in this category without having the support and help that we could give, and sometimes we do not give. As we talk about our young children, our babies that will take our places. So thank you for the opportunity to read this proclamation. Whereas the family serving as primary source of love, identity, and self-esteem and support is the very foundation of our communities and our state and our country. Doesn't say country, but I put it in here. And whereas in Mecklenburg County there are children and youth in foster care who are provided with a safe, secure, and a stable home, along with compassion and nurturing of a foster family who gives them what they need. Whereas all young people in foster care need a meaningful connection to a caring adult who becomes a supportive and lasting presence in their lives. Whereas foster kinship and adopted families who open their beautiful homes and their hearts and their community and support children whose families are in crisis. And are we not going through crisis today with our young people? Play a vital role in a shared parenting, helping children and families heal and reconnect themselves, launching young people into successful adulthood and contributing citizens to the community. Whereas the emotional pain, the trauma suffered by children who didn't even ask to come here, who are abused and neglected, often troubled, and they're troubled because their lives are disturbed. Whereas dedicated foster families frequently adopt foster children, resulting in a greater need for more foster care families, needing more foster care families. Whereas there are numerous individuals, public and private organizations, who work to increase public awareness of the needs of these our children and leaving foster care, as well as enduring an invaluable contribution to our foster parents. And the foster care system is only as good as those who choose to be a part of it. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mecklenburg Board of County Commissioners and its whole community does hereby proclaim May 2025 as Foster Care Awareness Month, not day, not week, but month in Mecklenburg County, and urge all citizens to take the time to celebrate and thank those who work with our children and our youth. It is also a time to focus on the foster children who wait in foster homes for permanency, adoptive families, as well as those children who are turning 18 and aging out of foster care system. I say this with a grieving heart. Our children are in trouble, and we need all of us to contribute to this process of making life just a little bit better for those who need it the most. And this proclamation is signed by our chairperson, Mr. Mark Jarrell, as chairperson of Mecklenburg County Board. I remember my first week as a county commissioner. The first visits I made was every home that had foster children in it. And that's been over 10 years ago. And I wonder today how many of those young people are successful, and I pray that they are successful. So forgive me for becoming emotional. I love our children. I respect our children. But it's not because of a weakness that I have, it's because I care. And thank you again for allowing me to read this. Not a day, not a week, but it says a full month that we're going to honor foster care. Who will come and receive this proclamation?
Let me get a motion, please.
Also move.
Second.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any unreadiness? Hearing none, all those in favor, let's see by show of hands. That is unanimous, Madam Clerk, and thank you, Commissioner Leek. Who's going to receive the proclamation? We're going to invite you to the podium for some remarks if you wish. You have up to 3 minutes, of course.
Thank you, Chairman Jarrell, and thank you very much, Commissioner Leek, for your kind words. Incoming County Manager, Mr. Bryant, and the rest of our county commissioners for recognizing May as National Foster Care Month. My name is Bridget Hapney. I'm a Senior Social Services Manager with Mecklenburg County Youth and Family Services, and I'm here along with my colleague, Nicole St-Amie Bonner, and we are honored to accept this proclamation on behalf of the many children, youth, families, and professionals impacted by the foster care system. This month is a vital time to raise awareness about the needs of the 385 children that are currently in Mecklenburg County foster care. It is a movement to honor foster parents, kinship caregivers, social workers, and all the advocates who support young people every day. Children in care often face complex challenges, from trauma and instability to disparate outcomes in education and in healthcare. Today, we face dire shortages, I'm going to say it again, dire shortages in foster families, especially those willing to care for teens, siblings, and those with special needs. Foster care is not just a government system, it is a community responsibility. Every one of us can play a part, whether through fostering, mentoring, donating, and raising awareness about the ongoing need for dedicated foster families. We invite everyone to consider how they might get involved, whether by learning more, supporting a local agency, or become a foster or respite caregiver. Let this proclamation be more than symbolic. Let it be a commitment to continue to improve outcomes for our children and families here in Mecklenburg County. Again, thank you for this proclamation and for standing with children and families in foster care. Together, we can make lasting change.
Good to see you.
Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations and thank you.
Appreciate it. Great to see you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's scooch over.
Thank you. The next proclamation we have is Older Americans Month, and I will turn it over to Commissioner Townsend Ingram.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. I'm also delighted and privileged to be able to read this proclamation, and it doesn't specify, designate the specific age of older Americans, but as someone barreling towards it, I count it a joy to be able to say that I'm getting older, because think about the alternative. So, Mecklenburg County, North Carolina proclamation, whereas May is Older Americans Month, a time for us to recognize and honor Mecklenburg County's older adults and their immense influence on every facet of American society. And whereas increasing access to transportation services, to the community with a special focus on vulnerable seniors with disabilities and providing services to help seniors remain independent in their home. And whereas through their wealth of life experiences and wisdom, older adults guide our younger generations and carry forward abundant cultural and historical knowledge. And whereas older Americans improve our communities through intergenerational relationships, community service, civic engagement, and many other activities. And whereas Mecklenburg County is devoted to increasing public awareness of abuse, neglect, and exploitation targeting older adults. And whereas communities benefit when people of all ages, abilities, and backgrounds have the opportunity to participate and live independently. And whereas Mecklenburg County commits to reducing food insecurity, one of my main priorities, hunger and social isolation for seniors 60 years of age and older through its congregate, home-delivered, and mobile market program services. If you don't know about it, look it up. And whereas Mecklenburg County aspires to ensure that older Americans have the resources and support in their communities, reflecting our commitment to inclusivity and connectedness. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mecklenburg County Board of County Commissioners does hereby proclaim May 2025 as Older Americans Month in Mecklenburg County and urges all residents to join us in recognizing the contribution of our older citizens and promoting programs and activities that foster connection, inclusion, and support for older adults. This 20th day of May 2025, signed Mark D. Jarrell, Chair, Mecklenburg Board of County Commissioners.
Move it.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any in readiness?
I want to speak to that.
Yes, Commissioner Leek. Excuse me 1 second. During this time, any commissioner that wishes to speak, we're going to give up to 1 minute.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say to you that our community is aging, and I'm asking us to be observant to those who are aging, our parents, our grandparents, our uncles, and our aunts. And as you live, I hope that you will become senior citizens and be contributors. Don't disrespect senior citizens. I've seen it happen too often, where we pay no attention to those who are less fortunate because of age. I've experienced it, of being disrespected, mistreated, walked over, walked on. Had to say that. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anybody else? Hearing none, all those in favor, let's see by show of hands. All right. That is unanimous, Madam Clerk, and I believe Mr. Tanner will come down to accept the proclamation.
He's the one that takes care of us.
Yes, he does.
Does an excellent job.
Mr. Tanner, you have up to 3 minutes, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair Jarrell, Commissioners, incoming County Manager Bryant, colleagues and guests. My name is Greg Tanner, and on behalf of Services for Adults, I want to express our sincere appreciation for your continued commitment to older adults in our community. Your support of this proclamation recognizing May as Older Americans Month is more than symbolic. It reflects the enduring commitment to uplifting the voices, the needs, and the contributions of our aging population. Each year, Older Americans Month provides an opportunity to celebrate the invaluable roles seniors play in our families, neighborhoods, and communities. Here in Mecklenburg County, we are fortunate to have a board that recognizes these truths and activities and actively invests in programs and services and participants that strengthens the safety, independence, and quality of life of our aging residents. Your support makes it possible for us to provide services to the community through our senior nutrition program, caregiving resources, transportation services, and social engagement opportunities that reduce isolation and promote healthy aging. We thank you for your leadership and for shining the light on the importance of building a community where seniors are able to be seen, supported, and empowered to thrive. Thank you.
Thank you. Please come to seat. That's just the sharpest dressed cat ever.
Again, congratulations.
All right. We're gonna steal that suit, man. Congrats.
Thank you.
I had a question for you since he mentioned you're a short-dressed cat. Yeah, I see now. Thank you so much.
Come grab a photo, Greg. Thank you. Before we move to the next item on the agenda, I wanted to say a couple of things. You know, particularly for the public, when you see the proclamations being done, I want people to know that this isn't just random or arbitrary. These are things that every board member you see here and those that are not with us tonight care about deeply. And not only our board, but it's also a reflection of our amazing Mecklenburg County staff, that none of this can be delivered without our staff. And we have a tremendous amount of individuals that are here tonight, and I'd like you all to stand and be recognized, please, because you all are joining us tonight. So all Mecklenburg County staff, please stand to be recognized. So it's very important to this board that you all understand how much we appreciate the work that's being done and what you represent in the community. There's nowhere that we go that you guys are not. When we have events, when we don't have events, when our community partners reach out to us to ask for resources, ask for help, you all are there constantly. And I don't mean just the people that are in this room, but any Mecklenburg County staff department that's watching. We want you to know from the bottom of our hearts how much we appreciate the work that's being done. And this board will, at every meeting and every opportunity, make sure that we acknowledge the work of our amazing team members and what you mean to this community. You do the heavy lifting, and it does not, it is not something that we take lightly or that we take for granted. So I wanted to say that on behalf of my colleagues and make sure you all knew how we felt. So thank you for giving me that opportunity. The next item on the agenda, is one of our favorites, again, is public art moment. So what I will do is turn it over to the originator, Commissioner Rodriguez McDowell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It really is an honor for me to be able to share this public art moment. So ASC, the Arts and Science Council, in collaboration with the Public Art Commission, oversees the overall development of the public art collection, ensuring that local and regional representation balance over time with respect to ethnicity and gender of artists, selected styles of expression, media, and genre. Next slide. This month's Public Art Moment highlights regional artist, and now y'all, I Googled how to say this name, and it didn't come up on Google. I don't know if it's showing up there. It's I-I-A-S-A-H-I-A, Prouty. I didn't want to say it wrong because I really wanted to give honor to the artist. So first name was that. Prouty is the last name. And she's of Bakersville. I assume it's she of Bakersville, North Carolina. Yes, and her artwork at the, now here's where this is being located, y'all. Think about this as you look at this art. Her artwork at the Mecklenburg County Medical Examiner's Office.
Oh.
Prouty brings a delicate sensibility to the space, creating works that are both sculptural and experiential. Next slide. The action of water unfolds in two parts, each evoking a distinct action of water, the rhythmic motion of waves and tides depositing sand upon the shore, and the quiet process of evaporation. The exterior sculpture invites visitors to look down into the pool and encounter the sculpturer, alongside reflections of the sky, the surrounding landscape, and their own image. Concrete casts of tidal sand, dark, inky blue on the outside and warm, tawny within, are placed either within the reflecting pool, where they are gently washed by water, or suspended above in shimmering glass echoes. These elements create a dialogue between solidity and fluidity, grounding and ascent. Next slide. Inside the facility, visitors will once again look down, this time at the exposed sand sculpture, but they also will be drawn to look upward, invited to contemplate the artwork from a different perspective. The action of water invites moments of calm reflection, offering comfort and wonder through its delicate balance of earth and water, permanence and change. This public artwork was installed in 2008 and cost $36,139, which included design, engineering, testing, fabrication, permitting, installation, and the artist's fee. It was funded through Mecklenburg County's 1% for the Arts Ordinance. ASC administers the public art program for the county, and artist selection and designs are approved by the Public Art Commission. Thank you all so much for just learning about this piece of art. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Rodriguez-McDowell. The next item on our agenda will be public appearance. Before I call the speakers down, I do have to read a statement, so please bear with me. Public appearance is the period during the board's regular meeting that members of the public are provided the opportunity to speak on matters not appearing on the agenda. Members of the public who appear during the public appearance portion of a regular meeting may discuss any matter within the jurisdiction of the Board of Commissioners, except for the following types of matters. A matter which appears on the agenda of that meeting of the board. B, a matter which concerns the candidacy of any person for public office, including the candidacy of the person appearing before the board. C, a request that the board considers funding a certain program or activity, either from the current budget or by inclusion in a future budget. Such requests would be made at the board's annual budget public hearing. The time limit for speaking is 3 minutes unless there are 4 or more speakers who wish to speak concerning the same matter, in which case all persons wishing to speak on the same matter will be considered a group and given a total of 10 minutes. The board reserves the right to alter these rules on a case-by-case basis as necessary for the efficient and effective conduct of business. Members of the board will not engage in dialogue with the public appearance speakers. Comments will be received and followed up on as applicable by county staff and/or members of the board. Handouts and/or tokens shall be given to the clerk for distribution to the board at the conclusion of the meeting. Members of the public can also access and view the meeting on the government channel at watch.MeckNC.gov. Tonight, I have 3 speakers on the list. We are going to start with our good friend, Denisha DeGraffenreid. I don't think I saw her. Oh, there she is, all the way up top. Okay. So, Denisha, if you'll come down here, you're going to speak first. And then we also have a group that is speaking, led by Darrell Osborne, and that's Charles Curse, Abra Coffey, Andrea Springs, James Boldware, Verbins, McElwain. If you all will make your way to the podium to my right, we'll get to you after Ms. DeGraffenreid, but if you can come down now. Denisha, good to see you.
Good to see you guys.
You can start.
Hi, thank you for having me. My name is Denisha DeGraffenreid, and I'm just here tonight to speak about mental health with May being Mental Health Awareness Month. I'm just here to raise awareness around everybody that may be suffering from a diagnosed mental illness or people that just may be suffering in silence that may not necessarily have a mental illness that is diagnosed. I feel like that's a common question that comes up a lot Just because somebody isn't diagnosed as bipolar or schizophrenic or anything does not mean that you are not suffering from a mental health illness. In the community now, there's a lot of things going on that are causing people to be under stress, such as raising prices of housing, gas, food and nutrition, just people having access to things. All of these things can stir mental illnesses in us all. And a lot of people think that although things may not directly impact you, that, okay, this doesn't pertain to me, so I'm fine. But as a community, we all have to remember that we need to stick together. If there's a problem with one person that's in the community, there's a problem for us all. This is a very systematic thing that we're dealing with. And there's a lot of community agencies that are available. Please reach out. If you don't feel comfortable reaching out to an agency that's necessarily in your community, there's the national hotline that's 988. These guys will literally speak to you just about anything. And if they can't address something, they can refer you to somebody that will. And I want to use my last minute. I didn't even think that it was the Older Adults Month, but I just have to say, with that being said, rest her soul, Miss Margaret Dixon, when I was in college, and she spoke a lot about mental health, but there were certain things that I didn't understand. Mental health is more of a spiritual thing. You can't necessarily see somebody that may be stressed out, but stress can cause physical things to go on with your body. Please take care of yourselves. If you know people that are struggling, please reach out to them. Ask them if they need help. If you see somebody out on the street that doesn't look like they're gonna attack you, ask them if they need help. You don't always have to give people money. Sometimes people just need water. People need food. If you see an older person and it looks like they're struggling to open up the door, open up the door. If somebody gets an attitude with you and you're in the right mental state, don't get an attitude back. People are struggling. All of us we function at different levels. So some people are able to handle stress more than others. Please be sure to look out for your neighbors. We are all in this thing together, and if we all live to see it, we will all become older adults. So please watch out for the community. Thank you for letting me speak. I really appreciate you guys. Have a good month. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I turn to the group, Kaya Allen, if you'll come down to this podium down here, we'd appreciate it. Mr. Osborne, great to see you, even though you left my district, but I'm happy to see you.
I'm still in your district. I hope I own property in that district.
All right, all right.
We're here to talk on lobbying for a statue for Charlie Sifford on the Charlie Sifford Golf Course. And I'm going to give Ms. Abra Kofi the remaining time of my time, which is 3 minutes, and she'll have 5 minutes.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Abra Kofi. First, thank you for governing our community in the fulfillment of the United States Constitution. I am here to push for having a statue of Dr. Charlie Luther Sifford placed on the Charlie Sifford golf course. Just Let Me Play is his story and is our story today. His statue would inspire a lot of young African Americans globally to pursue their dreams. His impact is beyond just golf and for all sports, highlighting the importance of racial inclusion and determination. Overall, the idea of having a statue is more than just for golf, but also a constant reminder that barriers are challenges just waiting to be broken. You can do it too, and that you can do it too. Because he did it, they can do it. And also, I believe that this black man displays his knowledge, skills, abilities in a sport that still lacks our equal presence. A statue of him is educational in Charlotte, Mecklenburg history and encourage our future golfers in color. Having a statue of this man that was instrumental in the removal of the Caucasian class only rule within Professional Golf Association, PGA, tells a story of a man of greatness. He was a door opener for opportunities. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for the work that you do for
the world, right? Because you're impacting the world from this wonderful city of Charlotte, North Carolina. My name is Charles Kearse. I'm the founder of Urban Impact Industries and Urban Impact Golf. I am a golf entrepreneur. Forgive me for having my hat on, but we wanted to wear Dr. Charles Siffert's swag in front of you. I'm sure you're aware of the impact that Dr. Charles Siffert had here, born and raised in Charlotte. Have the distinction of running with some men and women that raised and broke the barrier of the Caucasian-only clause in 1961, which is the year I was born. So I think I fit into that older adult or aging adult category. This statue is more than just about having a statue of an individual, but more of an inspiration for those of us that have been able to capitalize on the fact that we can play golf at Charles Siffert's golf course or any golf course in the United States of America and around the world for that purposes. My point is that it's not simply about the statue, but it's about the inspiration, the leadership that comes from Dr. Siffert's in his book, Just Let Me Play. He wasn't just playing because he wanted to play a game. He was playing because he wanted to feed his family. And because he fed his family through the game of golf, I call him a golf entrepreneur. Golf is a $110 billion industry. We just had the PGA Championship right here at Quail Hollow. Prestigious, of course, we've had the President's Cup, and we've got, every year we have the honor of having these PGA tours here. And the economic impact of golf is so tremendous. And of course, I actually work for Troon Golf Management, and they manage the county courses, 4 county courses, and there's great history there. Along with all the statue and everything that we're doing, we're building a process where we will train up golf entrepreneurs to be able to take advantage of that $110 billion economic opportunity, whereby we can train them up and get a piece of that, helping with the economic mobility challenges of Charlotte and Mecklenburg County, and help to train up leaders, entrepreneurs, and folks that will participate in all the great things that are happening here in Charlotte. So we urge you to consider a vote that will allow us to put the statue. Of course, we will help to raise the money and do all the other things, and we'll come back to the budget meeting as well. But there's a whole plethora of folks that are doing this work, not only here in Charlotte. In 2022, we brought the African American Golf Expo to Charlotte, and it had a great economic impact here. We have been invited to participate. The Expo has been invited to participate with the PGA Merchandising Show, which is the largest trade show of its kind in the world. The world comes to Orlando, Florida in January, and we'll be there. We'd love to take a contingent of Charlotte and represent and be there in great numbers to the tune of thousands of folks that will go down because they have secured contracts in the golf industry. If you look on LinkedIn today, there is a golf entrepreneur, Dominique and Leslie Laundry. She was able to provide laundry services at the PGA Championship, as well as John Miller, which is a gentleman that we've helped to train through some of our platforming and our programming. He was able to provide the good North Carolina barbecue sauce for the food that was served at the show. So we urge you to consider this, but don't just consider it as a statue, because it will be a living monument that we will use to inspire and to create programming to inspire folks as they come into the rec center, as they check in at the pro shop, as they just go through the airport and, stop in Charlotte. That would be a destination point for folks to come and see the great work that is happening. And as the community is gentrifying, we believe that there's a great opportunity to take that up, people coming in, bringing dollars, inspire folks to do business in all shapes and forms, so that revolution, that Clinton Park, that area will be a great place to visit and know. And I want to leave, because I've got a couple of minutes with this, and I'll turn it back to Rel if he has anything. How many of you have been to the city of Philadelphia and seen the Rocky statue, right? So the Rocky statue, that's the only thing. When I was coming in here today, I heard the music, dun, 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 and Dr. Charles Siffert's there, because he is our hero, a living legend. His family was just here. We hosted their scholarship event on last Tuesday, and it was just a wonderful event to bring people together, and that's what golf does. It brings people together. It bridges divides, right? And we're able to have good, productive, fruitful relationship-building conversations so that we can raise the social capital so everybody can win. Thank you for your time.
With the remaining 2 minutes, again, I would like to thank you all for serving our community. You all are doing a tremendous, great job. And I would like to continue to support you in all of the endeavors and challenges that we may have in Mecklenburg County. Above all, we're here to support, and hopefully you all see the real purpose of having a statue of Charlie Sifford. As a matter of fact, he was born less than a half mile from where the golf course is. Less than a half mile from where the golf course is located. And this man has contributed to putting Charlotte, Mecklenburg County on the map tongue is getting tired, worldwide. So let us consider that as you decide to ponder and wrestle with that situation. Thank you again, and have a good night, and we appreciate your time, giving us this time. Thank you.
With the remaining time, my name is Jordan Williams. I'm 19 years old. I play at Southern University. I play golf. I've been practicing at Sifford since I was like 9 years old at the first tee there. So a lot of people don't know about his story. I grew up playing, learning the game from older men like Mr. Osborne here, or just so and they all told me a lot of crazy stories on what him and what Charles Sifford and the late Jim Dent have done for the game out in this community. So not only would building the statue be an educational moment for the people that that don't know his story, but it would make those guys really, really proud. So, yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you. Ms. Allen, you have 3 minutes, up to 3 minutes.
Got it. Thank you, guys. Good evening. My name is Kaya Allen. I'm a working parent, a small business owner, and someone who still believes in public service should mean something. I'm here today speaking not just for myself, but for the people who've written emails, shown up to meetings, and poured through budget documents because they weren't told the truth the first time. We've heard proclamations tonight, EMS Week, Foster Care Awareness Month, Older Americans Month, all worthy, all honorable. But it feels like empty theater when the real policy decisions, the one that affect kids in foster care, working families relying on EMS, and our aging population are made in closed sessions with no transparency and no public input. You cannot claim to support people with words while betraying them with your budget. Let's be clear. This $118 million public safety training facility, what the community calls Cop City, has never truly been about safety. If it was, you'd be investing in what keeps people safe before police ever show up. Strong schools, youth programs, housing, and access to mental health care. Instead, we got burn towers, mock streets, and secret meetings with ICE and the FBI. Our community is exhausted. We're tired of being treated like an afterthought while this county coordinates with federal law enforcement agencies to build a simulation city on college grounds. And for what? To expand training while CMS faces a $31 million shortfall, while the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council funding remains frozen for a second year in a row? You say the money's already been allocated, but if that's true, when? Where's the vote? Where's the paper trail? I asked Commissioner Meyer, she says the money's been dispersed. Great, show us. Because if it's all been above board, there should be no problem opening the books. Instead, we get deflection, dodged questions, a project that's never been presented in the full public, and don't know we haven't been, and we don't think we haven't noticed how much energy has been spent spinning this narrative from PR workshops between CPCC and the county manager to internal emails from commissioners saying they don't remember approving it at all. John Adams once said that liberty cannot be preserved without general knowledge among the people. That means you owe us the truth. You owe students the truth. You owe the people you serve a government that doesn't hide its intention behind proclamations and procedural technicalities. This isn't a local issue, it's a national pattern. We're watching public dollars flow into militarized training while education budgets collapse. We're watching state and federal authorities double down on surveillance and prison infrastructure, even in the face of overwhelming evidence that it does not work. And we're watching the same leaders who claim to care about children, families, and equity silently support a project that none of those values at its core. So tonight I'm asking you one last time, do the right thing. Don't rubber stamp this project. Don't pretend your hands are tied. Demand an audit, request an environmental impact statement, halt this development until the public has been given a real answer and a real say. And if you don't, we will see you at the ballot box.
Thank you. All right, next on the agenda, we'll move to our appointments. First up are appointments for Central Piedmont Community College Board of Trustees. At this time, the chair will entertain a motion. Reappointment is needed on the Central Piedmont Community College Board of Trustees for one 4-year term expiring June 30th, 2029, effective July 1st, 2025. Khalif Rhodes is eligible for reappointment. Is there such a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any unreadiness? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. That's unanimous, Madam Clerk. Next up, reappointments are needed on the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Planning Commission for 2 3-year terms expiring June 30th, 2028, effective July 1st, 2025. Terry Lansdale and Shanna Neely are eligible for reappointment.
I moved both.
Second.
I have a question.
Moved and seconded. We do have unreadiness. Commissioner Leek.
I'm looking at Terry Lansdale. Preferred, what is it?
Lansdale.
Lansdale, excuse me. Preferred not to say what gender he or she is. Prefers not to even answer the questions that we ask in the application.
That's an option on the application.
It might be, but I want to know who I'm voting for.
Well, let me say this, Commissioner Leek. It is an option for people to choose to answer those questions, and they do have an option to say, and just so the public knows, there is an option to say, prefer not to say. I personally could tell you, I think a lot of members of this board know Terry, know his commitment to the community.
See, I don't know him.
No, if you see him, you would recognize him. He's been really engaged in the community, in the work that we do. He's someone that I think has served honorably, someone who really cares about this community, although he chose to answer, prefer not to say. I think everybody has their individual reasons, but I can vouch, and I think most folks up here on this dais can certainly vouch for who Terry is, what he stands for, and what he's meant to this community.
100%.
So with that, go ahead.
Excuse me,
Go
let
ahead,
me say
Commissioner.
this so the general public will know. There are certain questions here, and you may know him, and he probably has done an excellent job in the community. I'm not saying that he hasn't, but I need at least to be able to tell my people why I voted for him or her, whatever. And that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm.
Okay. Well, no, it's all our option. We appreciate you lifting that up. With that being said, is there?
If he has a business.
Excuse me one second, Commissioner.
I'm sorry.
One second. Before I let Commissioner Lee continue, is there any other unreadiness? Okay, we'll give. Go ahead. Let me let Commissioner Lee finish her thought, and then we'll come to you, Commissioner Powell.
One of the questions asked, are you doing business with the county?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He didn't answer it. So that's why I'm saying.
Right.
I want to be on the safe side. Am
Thank you
I
for that.
right? Y'all mighty quiet.
Thank you for lifting those up, Commissioner Lee. Let me go to Commissioner Powell, please.
I just wanted to say that he has served for maybe 2 decades. He served an extra term on the Air Quality Commission prior to, you can only serve so many terms. And then applied to this commission, and this is just a reappointment. And he has done an outstanding job at every level. So I think there's been a motion and a second.
There has been a motion and a second. I want to go to the clerk.
And I had an unreadiness.
And you spoke to it, and we appreciate that. Madam Clerk.
I just wanted to make the statement that some applications, if we have had them in the system, that person, for quite some time.
I can't hear you.
They may not have answered a question because that question may not have been on the application at the time that they applied. We have since changed some questions over the last year or two based on having our ad hoc committee. So that could be a reason.
Thank you for that, Madam Clerk. At this time, everybody's been heard. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
All right, Madam Clerk, you got that?
6-1.
6-1, thank you. Next up, nominations, appointment is needed on the Jury Commission to fill one 2-year term expiring June 30th, 2027, effective July 1st, 2025. And just so everybody knows, Johnny Davis Shields did not seek reappointment, but are there any nominations?
I move
Mr. Chairman,
I nominate
Powell, I'm coming back to you.
Janine Lafferty, District 1.
Okay.
I was going to
Mr. Rodriguez
nominate
McDowell?
Brandy Falls.
Okay. Any other nominations?
No, I was going to nominate Brandy Falls, but.
Who did you go?
Okay. I'm going to nominate District 4 resident Queen Thompson.
Who you nominating?
I'm nominating Queen Thompson from District 4.
I'd like to nominate Abdulio Odin.
Okay, so thank you. So everyone's been nominated that are options. So Madam Clerk, how do we want to do this? Does it just come back?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so with that, this will come back to the next board meeting. All right, next up is the Women's Advisory Board. Reappointment is needed on the Women's Advisory Board for one 3-year term expiring June 30th, 2028. Joelle DeGue is eligible for reappointment, and she has been recommended by the board chair. It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any unreadiness on this one? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, Madam Clerk. Next, nominations, appointment is needed on the Women's Advisory Board to fill one 3-year term expiring April 30th, 2028, effective July 1st, 2025. Are there nominations? I'm going to start to my left and work back to the right. Commissioner Rodriguez McDowell.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to nominate Catherine Edemad from District 6. There were so many great candidates, really hard to choose.
Right, Catherine Edemad is nominated. Commissioner Meyer, do you have anyone?
No, I was going to nominate her.
She was the one that they chose, the committee chose, actually.
The recommendation.
The recommendation.
Thank you for lifting that up. I appreciate that. Commissioner Leek, did you have a recommendation? Or nomination?
I don't see a District 2 person on the list, so I will go along with Queen Thompson.
So you want to nominate Queen Thompson on
Yes.
on this one? Okay. Commissioner Griffin, do you have anyone?
I'll just go along with the recommended person.
Edemont, okay.
Who is recommended?
Commissioner Powell?
I'm going along with the recommendation.
Okay.
Likewise,
The
recommended.
recommendation. So Commissioner, so we have Catherine Edemont and Queen Thompson, and Queen Thompson was nominated. Commissioner Lee, let me just make sure that.
That's correct.
I'll withdraw it since you.
Well, I'm sorry, that was for the Jury Commission. That wasn't for Women's Advisory Board. So Madam Clerk, so we've got, so people can apply for multiple boards, and these just happen to come up at the same time.
That is correct. And so based on the order that we do that, if they get not appointed for one, they just come off the list for the next one.
Okay, gotcha, thank you. So right now, we have Catherine Edemont and Queen Thompson. Did you want to withdraw that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so, so then it would only be Catherine Edemont that we are voting on.
So we're nominating and appointing? Do I make
Nominating,
that
is there a motion to nominate and appoint Catherine Edemont?
Yes.
So move.
It's been moved and seconded. Any other in readiness? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it, Madam Clerk. Next, let's move to the Lake Wiley Marine Commission. A nomination or appointment is needed on the Lake Wiley Marine Commission to fill one unexpired term expiring September 30th, 2026. The chair and the executive director recommend Mr. Lawrence Justin. What's your pleasure?
Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Move to nominate and appoint.
Second.
Which one?
Justin. Lawrence Justin.
Lawrence Justin, okay. Any unreadiness? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Lawrence Justin is appointed. Next, this is the Stormwater Advisory Committee. An appointment is needed on the Stormwater Advisory Committee to fill one 3-year term expiring June 30th, 2028, effective July 1st, 2025. It is the institution slot. Is there such a motion?
Christopher Smith.
Yes.
So moved.
Moved and seconded to appoint Mr. Christopher Smith. Is there any unreadiness? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it, Madam Clerk. That ends the appointments, and now we can move to our public hearings. A motion is needed to open the public hearing for comments on proposed revisions to the Land Use and Environmental Services Agency fee ordinance. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Are there any speakers, Madam Clerk?
No, sir.
All right, there's no speakers. So I'm going to take this, Madam Clerk, I'm going to bifurcate it just based off of previous history coming to. I'm going to close it and then go to item B, okay? All right. Can I get a motion to close the public hearing? Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. All right, next, can I get a motion to adopt the resolution revising the Land Use Environmental Services Agency Louisa fee ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
So is that Commissioner Powell?
That was Commissioner Powell, that's right.
Hey, Commissioner Riley.
He went on bifurcate this thing, I love it. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Y'all having too much fun.
We are having a lot of good. Okay, now, it is time to move to our advisory committee reports, and I'm looking up there. Come on down, Mr. Smith Jr. and Mr. Terry Bradley. They are with the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Community Relations Committee, and they are here to present their annual report, and it's good to have you all. I want to say welcome.
Chair Jarrell, County Commissioners, Incoming Manager Bryant, good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you all today on behalf of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Community Relations Committee, where I have the honor to serve as the chair. We have two members of our committee that are here today. I just want them to raise their hands so they are recognized at the top. And just a quick disclaimer, we had our meeting today and we provided the options to members to show up today or go home early, and a lot of them took the other route. So maybe next year we'll make sure that they're all here with us. All right, so tonight we're going to be presenting our annual report, and as I get started, I always like to read the mission of the committee. But since I have the vision up there, I'll read that first and then I'll go to the mission of the committee. So the vision is to be recognized as a global model in building community harmony by advocating for diversity, equity, and access for all. And our mission as a committee is to empower, collaborate, engage, and promote opportunities to create positive outcomes. Currently, our committees sit at 39 out of the 45 threshold that we are provided. And if I could take a point of privilege to just say that I'm very proud that over the last 2 years, we've been very consistent in keeping a member body of at least 39 plus for the CRC. As you all know, you all have appointments that you all do, and I want to thank each of you for fulfilling your 21 seats that you have as a body. We do have the full threshold for the county commissioners. Our primary function is to provide authentic feedback on community issues, assist in facilitation and communication between the committee, community, and all of you all, and other elected officials, promote community harmony, civic opportunities, respect, and understanding among all residents. And then lastly, we advocate for equity across Mecklenburg County. Currently, we have a three-committee structure. The first one is the community liaison representative, and this particular committee work with the 4th division of the CRD meaning the Community Relations Department. Our second committee is the Community and Cultural Engagement Committee. They primarily focus on our annual MLK event that we put together that weekend or that week now, and also the Police Community Awards that some of you attended just last week. And then thirdly, our third committee is the Public Relations and Newsletter, and I'll highlight some of the work that each of these committees have done over the last year. For our Community Liaison Committee, they hosted an in-person panel discussion on landlord-tenant rights and responsibilities. This was a very well attended event where community members could come and hear about their rights, whether you are a landlord or you're a tenant. You had the opportunity to come and hear about the rights that you have. The second thing they did was a virtual panel discussion focused on building lasting solution for all of our unhoused neighbors. Our Cultural and Events Committee, again, the annual MLK event that week that we put together, and also our Community Relations Police Awards, again, that some of you attended last week where we honor police officers that are doing great work in our community. And then our third committee, and I will really just highlight the second bullet point, hosted a Think Local, Act Global event during Welcoming Week. This was a very powerful, well-attended, dynamic conversation that highlighted the vital role all immigrants play and contribute here in our community in Charlotte. Turn it over to Terry.
Good evening, Commissioners. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I just want to give a high-level report over what the City of Charlotte-Mecklenburg Community Relations Department has been working on over the last year. We've done a lot, and just wanted to make sure that there's a correlation to what the committee does and also what the department is providing. We work with all of the city departments in regards to the Americans with Disabilities Act, and as of this year, we had started off, going back 5 years ago, we had about a little over 8,317 barriers that we needed to bring the city of Charlotte into compliance. Since then, we have possibly brought into completion 860 of those areas that are not compliant into compliance. And we have a 15-year plan to get a lot of this work done. And this year, we did 380 of those barrier removals. Right now, there are about 1,410 barriers in progress, and that's either with city bid planning or some type of construction. So we're tracking very well to getting those barriers completed within that 15 mark that we've set for ourselves. Again, that's working with all of the city departments. A lot of the departments and also county rest within some of the city facilities. So we're just ensuring ADA compliance around all of the businesses that we support. Physical barriers within FY25, again, there was like 382. Currently, we're down to 7,457 physical barriers left. So if we can stay on track with this, we're sure to meet our goal of getting this done within the 15 years. Next slide.
Sir, can you pull the mic closer?
Which one is?
Sir, pull your mic closer.
All right. Next thing is our community affairs program. Community affairs builds and sustains relationships across the diverse community. Our department is responsible for community engagement, and our community affairs program is one of those programs that actually implements and focuses on bridging the gap within the community. They actually have connections by way of community engagement, where we have community dialogues. They have increased in community engagements by attending festivals, different community initiatives, and we felt like it was probably easier for us to start reaching out to these different entities as opposed to physically doing these things on our own as a department. So just partnering with different agencies, we find that we can get more connection by doing that work. We've worked with over 100 students through the peer club programs this year. That is just reaching out to CMS, just trying to get students engaged in a different way so they have an alternative to addressing conflict. So this program has been very good in addressing those issues. We've continued to work with building police community relations. We've done that by way of the Police Community Relations Awards, by making sure that we're able to tell the story that the police department may not tell about themselves. There are things that the police actually go through on a daily basis, positive stories that they're not able to tell, but yet as a department, we're able to tell that story for them. So we're very proud of that. And we've continued to develop initiatives that promote the programs and service offered by CRC. Next slide. You got it? All right. The Dispute Settlement Program, that's our program that addresses conflict also. We actually have a program within the courts that also addresses conflict by removing a lot of the cases in the court system. We have a private warrant court that's actually set up over in the courthouse where the judges or magistrates might, as opposed to having those cases adjudicated, they might offer mediation for those cases that might kind of plug up the court system. We actually feel like it's a more valuable process by having those dialogues between the individuals with the conflict, because they have contribution to addressing those issues, and also by, if a judge hears the case, they're going to decide if somebody's guilty or innocent. By going through this process, they have an option of collectively resolving it themselves, and with that ability, they're more adhered to keep up with that agreement they come up with, because they're committed to what they've said they're going to do. Criminal justice dollars that are being saved through this, right? This year we've saved over $95,000 with just the volunteers that we use to do this service. The time that you would have the individuals go to court and the judge's time, we have individuals that volunteer to do these mediations for them, and we're saving taxpayer dollars by having these mediation sessions. We've received and processed over 700 calls regarding calls for service, and that way we get these calls, and we're trying to address them in different ways by either it's one of the programs that we have, one of the mediation services that we can offer to the community. Also, we've continued to look at new ways of addressing the volunteer mediation pool. We've had a couple of volunteer sessions this year where we had individuals come in to get conflict resolution training. With that, we feel that without a marketing budget, the tools that they learn within learning how to address conflict, they take that out into the community. And that way it's shared with the community so they can help individuals address conflict in a different way as well. Next slide. And finally, our fair housing program. Our fair housing program is one that over the years, we would look at how individuals are getting equity in housing. And also we have the NDO where we're looking at public accommodations as well. This year, the Fair Housing Division has opened over 29 cases and 28 cases, and we've resolved 29. Now, our cases from year to year roll over, so in that process, we've addressed at least 29 of them. So with those cases, we've had complaints come in. We've found that a total of these complaints have merit. The monetary relief received from these complaints during that time totals to be a little bit over $31,000. And I think what happens is when you have individuals who have some type of monetary, I guess, consequence, that's kind of tailoring that decision moving forward. They're not going to make those same decisions moving forward. They're going to be educated about what it is in regards to how they might have discriminated against someone and make different decisions. The non-discrimination ordinance program is doing well. We're doing a little bit more in the marketing area. So the program opened with 8 inquiries and closed this year around, I guess, 10. The total dollars received through conciliations are roughly a little over 30,000. Most complaints were employment related and based on disability. So again, the CRD has done a lot of work, and we're just trying to make sure that we are here with the community needs, and we're trying our best to address those. With that.
All right, thank you, Terry. Just touching on a few more things from the committee. So about 2 years ago, you all appointed me to chair this committee. I came to you with a 3-year plan that I would like to see envisioned from this committee. And I will just kind of run through the 2 years of it, and then we'll talk a little bit about year 3, which is what we're going into now. So year 1, we call that a disruptive year. This is where we really wanted to lean into some of the issues that was happening within the committee. And some of those things was really just bringing decorum and respect back to members within the committee, but also to the broader community. We also wanted to revisit the mission and value and goals of the committee and how that aligns with what you all envision that this committee is doing. And then ultimately, we wanted to increase the CRC membership and have a steady flow of members within the committee. And as I shared earlier, within the last 2 years, we've been able to keep a steady flow of 38 plus members on the committee. The second year, we really focused on growth of the committee. So coming out of year 2, we have increased our number of community engagements. So we have various speaker series. So we have folks in the community that are coming in, providing information for us to our body on how we get engaged and more involved in our work that we're doing. We are still working, but we have a few strong strategic partners that we have worked with over the last 2 years that have helped us lift up our mission, but also some of the work that they're doing. And then in the same year, we have built a talk series just also within the committee that we are being fed information from the broader community on things, again, that we should be doing to continue to uplift the community. And then going to year 3, we're really focused on stabilizing the committee, so having a 100% membership threshold. Again, we've been very firm over the last 2 years. We're at 38, 39. The goal is to get it to 45. We do have 3 appointments with the city council and 3 appointments with the mayor that we are working through with them. And then also really putting in place a strong succession plan, so a strong leadership transition. Next year, this is my final year within that committee. My goal is to make sure that I have a vice chair that is strong enough to successfully take my role when I transition out and keep the integrity of the committee that we have built over the last 3 years. We also had our annual retreat last month. And in our annual retreat, we revisited what I just shared with you. And some of the things that we lifted up is what do we want to see moving forward as a committee. I'm not going to go through all of that, but some of the things that was lifted up that's very strong is just strengthening partnerships across Mecklenburg County. Oftentimes, we really silo ourselves just here within Charlotte. So we're thinking about how do we expand our wings outside of Charlotte. How do we be more intentional about who we are partnering with and what we are doing in the community as a committee. And then the other one I want to lift up really quick, and that may be on the next slide. Yep. The other one I'll lift up, and I'll go to the next slide, is just really uplifting CRC members, the community relation members that are doing great work in our community. Oftentimes they go forgotten because we're only meeting once a month, and oftentimes when they're doing things in the community, we tend to miss that. So we want to be more intentional about lifting them up and ensuring that we do see them. And then where we need your help and support, and I presented this, I think, last year. I share with you all that for a 45-member threshold committee is way too big. I think we are the biggest committee within the county commissions, within the commission structure. My vision is to bring that committee down to about 30 folks. This will allow for everyone to be engaged within the committee. The way the committee structures are currently built, if we have 30 folks and we have 2 persons each serving in each of those breakdowns that I share with you, that will allow for no one to be hiding when they're appointed into the committee, which is an issue that we've had in the past. People get appointed, they don't get engaged, and then they drop off. So we're trying to be a little bit more intentional, and part of that intentionality is we have to drop the committee threshold down from 45 to 30. And then also, we want to hear from you all. Are there things that we are not doing that you think we should be doing in this community? So we want you to send us email, reach out to me. Many of you have my cell, reach out to me. We are looking to work in partnership with you all, as we do with the city, to ensure that we are lifting up some of the things, initiatives that you want to see and want to see the CRC do. So with that, thank you all again for your time and allowing us this opportunity to share what we've been doing.
Thank you both. We appreciate it. I know that there's questions. I see Commissioner Meyer.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for what you do, both of you, and thank you to the entire team. Thank you for being here. Really, I just have two questions. What was the reasoning, and I don't know if you know this, and I'm not sure who knows this, but why are there 45 seats? And then how's the attendance? Because we always have attendance problems with our committees.
I'll speak to the attendance and you speak to the 45 seats because you have more historical knowledge. So we have had really, really good attendance over the last 2.5 years. Well, I'll say over the last year and a half because it took almost 6 months to really build it to where it is now. We typically don't have members who are missing meetings. For our retreat, we had almost a 95% attendance rate, and that was on a Saturday morning. And members that are currently part of this committee, they are all highly engaged. Again, we're intentionally putting them in positions where they can't hide under the committee. They have to work and we have to see the work. And I think because of that, we have people who are really, really showing up and want to be a part of it.
The quick answer to that is community relations has been around since the 1960s, and based on those issues that were happening back then, they expanded the body with ad hoc members to grow it. So the actual pool was, or the committee was much larger than what it is now. I think it was up to a little over 60 at one point in time, and it was cut down to what we currently have is 45. So based on the needs at that point in time, it required probably more bodies, but now we're at a point where it's just been reduced to 45.
Okay, thank you for that. That's interesting. And thank you for everything you're doing and everything you're organizing. I know it's a lot. And I've attended several things, and well done and well organized. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. It'll be Commissioner Powell, Townsend Ingram, Griffin, then Commissioner Rodriguez McDowell. And then Commissioner Leek, if you like. Commissioner Powell.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation and for your service. And I'm going to say all of my questions first, and I'll repeat them if you need me later. In my experience, the work has been city-centric, and so I'd like to have some examples of countywide, involvement in the towns. I'd like to know who crafts the agenda, and I want to attend some meetings, but they quite often conflict with our meetings here. So are they virtual or in person?
So over the last 2 years, we structured it where 6 months out the year we are virtual, which will be the same time, and then 6 months out the year we're in person.
And can you give an example of a barrier removal that you were really happy about?
You want to speak to that?
In regards to ADA, ma'am? We can talk about in the chamber here. We have actually remodeled the chamber in here to ensure that the media has access with the automatic doors for the access into the facility. So we've done a lot of work within this chamber itself to make it more accessible for the public to be able to attend these meetings.
Thank you. And can we get some examples of countywide involvement in the towns?
Countywide involvement, where our programs are city and county. We have the Fair Housing Program is just not the city, it's of the county-wide. You do have the Conflict Resolution Program that's city and county-wide. Some of the programs that we offer are not just to city employees or city members. It's more of like, for example, the MLK Holiday Celebration. That's provided by the Community Relations Committee itself, but that's a city and county-wide program. The Police Community Relations Awards, we're acknowledging and celebrating the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department and all of the work that they do.
Thank you. Can we get on your invitation list to the meetings, just so if we could go, that, like, if we could come to a meeting, that at least we'd know, you know, where and when it is? And before my time is up, can you give an example, like your favorite one, of how you have increased community engagement?
Increase in community engagement. We've had a series of different, what we call lunch and learns, where we'll send this information out to our partners, and they are able to invite individuals to those lunch and learns. And it's around any of the programs that we actually support around ADA, fair housing, any of the education outreach programs that we do. We make sure that it's sent out to a large portion of our partnering members, so they can send it out to the public as well. The actual meeting itself, our Community Relations Committee meeting, it is a public meeting, so individuals are welcome to attend that as well.
We always get invited to the police meeting, but that's all. And so it'd be nice to have an invitation to other things.
Absolutely.
Please put us on the list. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Commissioner Townsend Ingram.
Hi, Sam, and my birthday twin, Terry. I have a different lens than most people up here because I've served a term on the Community Relations Committee. And can I just say, Terry, you always did an exemplary job with the ADA stuff and kept us up to date and up to code and informed. Sam, you have done like miraculous things with the committee since I, was there. It's like light years ahead. You answered every question that I had pinned down here because I didn't really get a chance to look through the presentation, but you answered all of those questions. I really, really appreciate all the hard work you did, especially the thought that you put into and intentionality with the engagement of the members, because when I was there, that was an issue. You could fulfill the attendance requirement by showing up, but just because you showed up didn't mean that you were actually engaged in doing something on the committee. So I really appreciate that. I can see this is deliberate, intentional, and extremely hard work. You have a strategy, and I just want to take the opportunity to thank you and let you know that it's recognized, both of you, that all of the hard work is recognized. The only question I have, we've been dealing with the budget and cuts that are coming, and today, is he still here? Yeah, Deputy Manager Trotman talked about changes that are coming to housing with rapid rehousing. And I wanted to know if you guys can get involved with that, with the advocacy, with regard to, it was, and I'm probably not explaining it right, but the housing vouchers where there was no set guideline for time limits, now people will be cut off after 2 years on those vouchers. So I would really love it if, that's a part of the equity talk. So if you guys could be engaged and advocate and have some meetings with our Deputy County Manager on that.
We can do that.
We can do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Griffin.
First of all, Mr. Smith, thank you for your professionalism and particularly your patience as you've worked through those 3 areas of disruptive and growth and really getting the organization back on track. And I just wanted to say personally thank you for that. And I appreciate the service of the committee. I used to be on the committee when Jack Bullitt was around, so that's in the 1970s. So that's a little bit before your time. But at any rate, you guys are where you need to be. You are the firefighters when there are issues in the community, and you step up to the plate, and you've done that for many, many years. So if we can help you in any way in trying to help you reach that period of excellence that you're looking for, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. But thank you for your service, for you, Bradley, and the whole team.
Thank you. Commissioner Rodriguez-McDowell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to echo, my colleague's sentiments here. I know that you have done tremendous work. So on your proposal about going from 45 to 30, I know right now you say there's 39 people serving. Do you propose that, as folks, their terms just roll off, you don't replace them?
Yeah, that's actually a strategy that we're using now. We have 6 folks who will be rolling off in June. The goal is not to fill those appointments, but moving from 45 to 30, I think that's a state issue, and we've been trying to look into it and see how we can possibly take control of that. But the short answer is the goal is not to fill appointments as folks are rolling off.
Okay, so that's not our decision. Did you say a state decision?
That's
Come to the microphone, Terry, please.
I'm sorry, it's in the Human Relations Ordinance. It sets the total number of how many should sit on the board.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Leek.
Let me first say thank you. I know you, young man. I've known you for a long time, but thank you for your services. I'm concerned about the Americans with disabilities. I guess because of my mobility has decreased rather than increased, I have noticed more that the facilities in Mecklenburg County are not accommodating as they ought to, but there's a law that every building should be accessible for those who are disabled. So how do we work through that process to make it amenable for our people who want to be a part of, but because of their disabilities, they are unable to reach the facility? And the other thing I'm concerned about is Charlotte has grown so much within the last 5 years, not just 10 years, and human relations has almost changed its job because of its growth in Mecklenburg County and the city of Charlotte. So help me to understand how you're going to be prepared for this.
Thank you, Commissioner Leek. That's 2 questions that I think
What did you say? I didn't hear you.
What I'm going to do is try to answer the first question for you first.
Did you say it was a good question?
That is a good question.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. The American Disabilities Act, I think the initial approach for us was to kind of tell everyone what was wrong, and that was a slow process. So it was more of a deliberate cultural shift in thinking, putting people in certain situations so they can understand better what that experience might look like, sharing stories, asking questions, something similar like, what if your grandmother was trying to come to see you? What would that experience be like? So this continuous outreach and education that we tend to do around that program to kind of get people more in tune to what's going on, to make sure it's important, not only important to them by way of knowing that some of us will age into that and have that experience, but we're all a part of having that responsibility to ensure that everyone has access to our services. So just keep talking and making sure we do a continuous improvement around the education and outreach. The second part about the human relations piece is basically what are the needs of the community? We hear those needs. The committee are our eyes and ears to what's going on, and they bring it to us to say, these are some things that we need to be in front of and we need to address. No matter what it is, whether it's religion, culture, whatever that shift is, the committee brings those issues to us and we try to address them the best way we can.
What seems to be the major issue today? Oh, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Major issues today are, I would probably say it's definitely around housing. That's one thing, just making sure people have equity and access to housing. Mobility is another key issue that we're really focusing on. One of the things that we're starting to slowly see is how can we better address the digital divide, making sure everyone has information, has the same information. How do we get that information to you? Some people may not have technology, so we can't really rest on that. By sending an email, everyone gets this information. So just understanding all of the needs and making sure that we're trying to stay out in front of it to get people what they need so they can be a part and not just an afterthought.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Commissioner Powell had a follow-up question.
Thank you. I did ask it, but I forgot to re-ask it. On your agenda setting, Sam, is that set by you or in coordination with the members on the committee, or is it set by staff?
Yep. So I serve with a leadership team, so it's myself, the vice chair, and then we have all of the chairs for our subcommittees and the vice chair. When we have our leadership meeting, that's where we typically set our agenda for the next meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let me just say to both of you, we all see your work. We see what you're doing. We certainly want to thank you for being here. We thank you for the work that you all are doing as leaders and the work that the committee's doing. It's very important. What you provide, you talked ADA, we're talking housing, with all of these things that are critical components to the community. We deeply care about it, the community deeply cares about it, and we know you do. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you. All right, at this time I will turn to the incoming county manager, Michael Bryant.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There is one item under the manager's report. This evening, I am very proud to announce that the Mecklenburg County Public Health Department has been accredited with honors by the North Carolina Local Health Department. Group has been accredited with honors by the North Carolina Local Health Department Accreditation Board. In North Carolina, per general statute, all local health departments must be accredited by the State Accreditation Board. This rigorous process seeks to assure all local health departments meet state and national standards for delivering essential public health services. After providing necessary documentation and completing an on-site visit in March, the Accreditation Board determined that Mecklenburg County Public Health Department met or exceeded 147 out of the 147 requirements. Met or exceeded 147 out of the 147 requirements, thereby receiving the highest designation of accreditation with honors. During the Accreditation Board meeting, our Mecklenburg County team was recognized for its leadership and best practice across the state, including our mobile health program, community-driven HIV care and prevention, and for having strong support for public health from the Board of County Commissioners. Many thanks to the tireless work and dedication of our Public Health Department team. We are so fortunate to have what I consider to be the strongest local public health agency in the state and the nation. And I am proud of their commitment to protecting and promoting health for everyone in Mecklenburg County. Dr. Washington and several members of the team are with us this evening. Chair, I'm going to ask that you recognize Dr. Washington to bring some remarks, please.
Please, Dr. Washington.
Thank you, Incoming Manager Bryant, Chair Jarrell, and Commissioners. It is certainly my honor to be standing here with some good news tonight. Our team has worked incredibly hard. Accreditation is a really challenging process. Those standards have like 25 other standards beneath each one of those 147, and this team behind me and the 1,000 folks who work for the health department work every day. It's an ongoing cycle. When we finish one accreditation, we start the next one. This one was really unique because it also included the time that we were responding to the COVID pandemic. And so to be able to hit 147 items out of 147 is a testament to the hard work of the people that are sitting behind me and so many more. So I want to give them another round of applause. Our accreditation team actually is this group of folks right here on the front who are responsible for making sure that all of our staff are doing the right thing on a daily basis in the health department. They do our audits, they make sure that we have our documentation. It is really intense and they've worked really, really hard. And so I am standing here really on behalf of all of them, and I can't thank them all enough for their hard work. Let me also, Incoming Manager Bryant mentioned the support of the commissioners. Many counties in this state, local health departments don't have the kind of support that we have, and I don't want to underscore the fact that it means a lot to us. Our budget reflects that with many local health departments. The commissioners provide about 25% of the support for the agencies compared to the close to 80% that we get here, or 70% we get here from you guys. And so it means a lot. It means a lot to the folks behind me, and so we really appreciate your support. Chair Jarrell and Vice Chair Altman represented you guys very well during the site visit. They were interviewed, answered some tough questions, but did a great job just demonstrating how much this community is committed to health. And so just thank you to you all as well for that support. And so with that, I appreciate you all. We have some plaques that'll go in all of our buildings. They got a little cheek this year, and now the honors part is a ribbon. But this is the plaque. You'll see these in some insignia in all of our buildings. All of us have lanyards, which we have some of these for you guys tonight as well, if you'd like one. But again, thank you all.
Hold on, Dr. Washington. Well, we want all the goodies we can get, for sure, okay? A couple things. I believe board members probably want to have a word to say to you and the team, so want to leave space to give a minute, then want everyone to come down so we can take a photo, commemorate this moment. But before we do that, I want to open up to our board members. I'm going to start with Commissioner Griffin, work left, and then come back to my right. 1 minute, Madam Clerk.
1 minute.
1 minute.
I've learned a lot as being chair of the Health and Human Services Committee in terms of how broad and how deep the responsibilities are for a public health department. I know I've given you a lot of grief about data, but I really appreciate your professionalism, your attention to detail, and really embracing some of my crazy ideas. But this community is blessed to have you, your professionalism, and the work that you have produced and will continue to do so as head of the health department. And you teased me this afternoon just a little bit by telling me we're going to get some utilization data. So we just keep continuous improvement, and I appreciate your leadership and your team and all of the employees that work under you. So thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Leek.
Let me first say thank you. As I peruse the congregation here tonight, there are more women working in the health department than men, and I'm excited about that. But we got to bring some brothers on to help us to make it even better than what you said it is. Could not be any better because of you, each of you. I headed that committee at one time. We were out in the community giving information and making sure that we were listening to the community. But we can't thank you, young man, enough for your leadership and your caring about this community and working hard to make sure that we get the very best staff that we can have. So staff, you are powerful. There's none like you, okay? Thank you for what you do and continue to do. My question to the manager, are you going to recommend a raise for the health department?
The manager has already recommended a pay.
Commissioner Meyer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just have to say I was at the Georgetown Medical School graduation this weekend in D.C., and there was a handful of students who were just getting award after award after award for public health, for their work in public health, and they had amazing stories. And I made my way through the crowd, and I actually gave one of them my card, and I said, we've got the best public health system in the world. And I said, come to Charlotte. So I did brag about you. I didn't know about this award, but I was telling the truth. So thank you for your work. Thank you for everything you do. You have hard jobs. And I just love that you stick to it every single day. You have a heart, and that's what we need. Thank you.
Commissioner Rodriguez-McDowell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I really noticed, Dr. Washington, when you came up, when you were introduced, your team was hooting and hollering and clapping, and really, you have their support, and it's obvious. And so that must mean that, you know, you are really supporting them, and they feel that. And so I think that is the mark of a truly great leader. So I appreciate your work, and each and every one of you here today and who's watching, or maybe not watching, that's okay. We really do, I think the public doesn't really know, because you guys are kind of hidden behind the scenes. And so it really is great to have opportunities like this to shout you guys out in the work that you do. So thank you for making us all look good, and keep on keeping on. Thank you.
All right. Commissioner Townsend Ingram.
I just want to say, it feels really, really good to sit up here and grin from ear to ear and just feel good about the miraculous work that you put in. And I'm glad, too, that the kudos are not just symbolic and with a cheap plaque, that you get a little bit of coins that go behind that. Just sitting in the HHS meetings, Dr. Washington, I really appreciate your attention, your ability to answer every question with detail. You even came by the office and explained something else that another question that I had. So thank you. You have to have a heart to do this kind of work and get accolades the way you do. And I know I went through a piddly, accreditations with universities. I can't imagine a medical reaccreditation every so often that you have to give it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Well done. And I'm privileged to work among you. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Powell.
Thank you. Thank you to every single person in the audience who works for public health for waiting so long to get the recognition that you deserve. And like Commissioner Ingram said, you are the caregivers. And so my background is healthcare. And I went through Joint Commission on Accreditation of Hospitals, and that was rough. And so when Dr. Washington was talking about the 147, line items you have to meet and the 25 under each one, I know what he means. Sometimes it's more than that. So it's really so amazing that, I don't know if you got enough swag. I think you need some T-shirts. But thank you for being the caregivers. We have lots of caregivers that work for the county, but I think you're a special group who have the heart and who are working to make a positive difference for humanity. Thank you. My minute's up, but your work matters way more. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Well, I want to thank my colleagues for their words, because they really summed it up perfectly. There's not that much more than I can add outside of a thank you. I'm really full right now, because we know that the work that you all do is just so amazing. And you have a calling on your lives to be able to do that. Everyone can't do it. And you guys have a calling to do that. And it's just an amazing gift. It's amazing what you deliver to this community. As I look at the faces and what you all represent and who you represent, we want you to go back to your teams and, as much as you can, say the board says thank you. The board appreciates the work. The board sees the work. Dr. Washington, you, my friend, are an amazing leader. The knowledge that you bring since you touched down has been transformational for this community. And what you've done is just tremendous, guiding us through COVID and just the changes in the way that you approach this work and this business. Seeing you on CNN is really great. I love it. And just what you represent all across the country. You are so well respected. And so I want to thank you for that. And I also want to thank Deputy County Manager Trotman. I want to say another just phenomenal. Just phenomenal leader. Another individual that just has extensive knowledge in a bunch of different spaces and places, but also exercises the wisdom to know when he has great leaders and to allow them to lead and tweak the guidance here and there. And I just think that that's just an amazing characteristic that a lot of people don't have and don't share. And your leadership definitely does not go unnoticed or unrecognized. And the board appreciates you setting and establishing that culture for this group. So I wanted to say thank you to you publicly. And with that being said, you know we have to take a picture, so please come down. Everyone, please. Oh, you're good. Where's Suzette? Oh, there's Suzette.
So Anthony, come down.
Yeah, Anthony, Deputy County Manager Trotman, can you join us, please? Thank you, Laura.
Oh, I need them to go around. I'll be happy.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
It's following all the rules.
Come on, you gotta be in the middle.
Yeah, you have to be in the
Come
middle.
on, you got the plaque. You and Trotman.
Yeah, Trotman in the middle.
Yes.
And Dr. Scott.
Look at Dr. Scott. Hey there.
Dr. Scott for answering my questions today.
And
Tall guys in the back.
All right, Ben.
That's okay, we don't need to
be on
be
the hands. You gotta be on the hand,
Give him
man.
a chair.
I'm always hidden.
Chuck, come on.
I'm in no picture. No, it's fine.
Sure. Jump right there. There you go, sir. All right, let's do this.
Are we close enough?
All right. Award-winning public health. Thank you, guys.
They're gonna give you a raise, that's what I asked for.
Thanks, y'all. Thanks for your work. Thank you.
Hey, Ben, how you doing?
Of course, of course. Okay, let's move, keep going with the agenda. Is there a motion to approve those items not pulled from consent?
Moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any unreadiness? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, Madam Clerk. All right, let's go through these pulled consent, starting with 25-0263. It's a Louisa interlocal agreement with the City of Charlotte, towns of Huntersville, Davidson, Cornelius, Hill, Pineville, and Matthews. Commissioner Leak.
Yes, I pulled these for the awareness of the community to know what we are voting on and what will come from this. So I'm going to ask the interim manager to share that with us, please.
Sure, Commissioner League. This document aims to formalize the interlocal agreement concerning house numbering and street naming. It establishes that Mecklenburg County has the official authority over these aspects for the City of Charlotte and its neighboring municipalities. It's important to note that the main objective behind this effort is to ensure that we gather the necessary signatures for documentation purposes. Previously, we faced challenges due to insufficient records, which hindered our ability to validate our authorization in this area. This process will help fortify our framework and facilitate better management going forward.
Thank you. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second. Moved and seconded. Any unreadiness? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. And that
Ayes
last
have it, Madam
sentence
Clerk.
answers it.
Next one is item 25-0276, Alliance Health Facility-Based Crisis Center Funder. Commissioner Leak.
Yes, where will these funds come from and how much are we asking for?
This project is projected to cost a little less than $20 million. Funding is provided from the following sources: County American Rescue Plan Act funding in the amount of $1.9 million, State American Rescue Plan Act funding in the amount of $12.5 million, County American Rescue Plan Act interest earnings in the amount of $1.8 million, and Alliance funding in the amount of $3.7, bringing the total cost to about $19.9 million.
This information is needed by the public, and I'm happy that you are sharing this with us. So moved, Mr. Chairman, and that's why I pull consent items. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any unreadiness? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, Madam Clerk. Next item, 25-0280, acquisition of flood-prone property under Hazard Mitigation Assistance Grant, EMA 2021 FM 036-0003. Commissioner Leek.
Yes, again, for general information for the public.
Sure, Commissioner Leek. The acquisition of 5517 Cutshaw Court will provide the general public with additional open space and reduce flood risk in the community. This will be accomplished using federal grant funds through the Hazard Mitigation Assistance Grant Program along with stormwater funds. The acquisition will help the homeowners by voluntarily acquiring the home at fair market value. This home is located in the FEMA floodway, which is a high-risk area of rapidly moving water during flooding.
Thank you. I pray that the community has heard what you said, and I have copies to pass out in the community of these consent items. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second. Moved and seconded. Any unreadiness? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, Madam Clerk. It's unanimous. Next item, 25-0282, grant application is FEMA Hazard Mitigation Assistance. Commissioner Leek.
Yes, why are we asking for another grant?
Stormwater Services is requesting hazard mitigation grant assistance funding to elevate a flood-prone single-family residence along Briar Creek at 3026 Hanson Drive in Charlotte. Stormwater anticipates that the final FEMA grant approval may occur prior to December of 2025, and once approved, the elevation project could take 6 to 12 months for completion.
Well, I know the people at Briar Creek is happy to hear this. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second. Moved and seconded. Any unreadiness? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, Madam Clerk. And I saw Chickarelli here just in case there was something that he needed to come up for. Next item, 25-0286, reappointment Mecklenburg County Tax Assessor. Commissioner Leek.
Yes, I pulled this so that we will vote, or do we get to vote on the reappointment of the Mecklenburg County Tax Assessor?
That is correct. If the board approves this reappointment, he will be sworn in for another 4 years by our clerk.
And who is that person?
Mr. Ken Joyner.
Will you please stand, Mr. Joyner?
I know who's here. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
Third.
And third. Is there any unreadiness?
I just want to thank him for being the gentleman that he is and the work that he has done and the knowledge that he brought to this community when we brought him in from the university. Thank you, my brother. We're proud of you, and we want to keep you here.
That's right.
All right, thank you.
That's right.
All right, and it is with pleasure that I say, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. That is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Ken. Good to see you. All right, next up is going to be item 25-0288, Juvenile Crime Prevention Council update to propose FY25 funding allocation. Commissioner Leek.
I pulled this because this is a major problem as we open our paper, as we read the newspaper, as we listen to the news daily about criminal problems in our community. Every day, somebody has been killed, and young people are losing their lives, and we're losing our bloodline. So I'm wondering, what are we doing as a body, as a county, to help eradicate this problem and to hold parents accountable in this community? Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Manager.
Well, I can speak to, respond to the questions that we received regarding this item. The question was, is there a report on the success of the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council? The North Carolina Department of Public Safety administers its standardized program evaluation protocol known as SPEP each year to evaluate the effectiveness of all JCP-funded programs. The SPEP assesses the essential characteristics of effective programming and is conducted at the end of each fiscal year. SPEP scores of 50 or higher indicate the program is having a positive impact on reducing recidivism. Programs without terminations and certain types of services do not receive SPEP scores. Attached, and you should have in your packet, Commissioner Leek, a set of documents with a map on it that looks like this. Included in your packet are the scores for each JCPC program funded in Mecklenburg County during fiscal year 23 through 24. Hard copies of the annual mid-year monitoring report of JCPC programs were provided to the BOCC in March of 2025. It is difficult to determine specific districts where programs are making a difference due to some programs serving juveniles across the multiple districts. However, the attached maps show the number of juvenile complaints received in Mecklenburg County by zip code for calendar year 2022. For the other commissioners, this document is loaded up in the Legistar software.
Thank you.
Commissioner Leeks had a hard copy.
This is information that we need. The community needs it. Thank you for responding to the answer. And I'm asking the commissioners to please read it and see where your district falls, where the problems are, and how can we try to change the problems that we're being faced with, and especially for our young people. We're killing every day, son. So that's why I pulled this.
Okay.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any unreadiness? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Madam Clerk, next item 25-0295 is a land donation, Possum Walk Nature Preserve. Commissioner Leek.
Nature Preserve, please help me understand what this is.
Well, it's a donation that is being provided by the property owner and developer TBG AGEHC EMP Multi-State 2 LLC of Winsford Subdivision, and the tax parcel is 037-071-52.
What are they donating?
They're donating land that will be utilized to incorporate into the natural preserve.
Thank you. So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any unreadiness? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Madam Clerk, next item is 25-0311 opioid settlement, Wave 1 funding expansion. Commissioner Leek.
I'm not going to ask us to read all of this about the opioid settlement because we were recipients of funds from this process.
That's right.
So I don't need for us to go over this, but we need this to share with the general public, and the public will know that we have a problem, but we are dealing with it, and that we do have funds that we have received to help to eradicate the problem. So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. I'm a problem?
No, sir.
Okay.
No,
All right.
sir.
Moved and properly seconded. Any unreadiness? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Marcus, thanks for being here. I know you were ready. Next up is item 25-0322, reappointment of interim tax collector.
Yes.
Commissioner Leek.
Is that person present?
She's not present
And
tonight.
who is that person?
Current interim tax collector, Jaleesa Fernandez.
Do we accept her with her absentee?
You've been asked to.
Is it all right, Mr. Chairman?
Absolutely. She's
So
phenomenal.
move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moved and seconded. It is with pleasure I say, all those in favor, let's see by a show of hands. That is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Congratulations, Jaleesa, and thanks for the great work. Last item is item 25-0323, Lake Norman Territorial Jurisdiction. This is Commissioner Leek and Commissioner Powell. Commissioner Leek, I'm going to go with Commissioner Powell first on this
I
one.
was going to relinquish to her for just a moment, but not long.
Commissioner Powell.
Thank you. And the reason I pulled this is to have clarification for the public, because there's so much information, misinformation about what happens when we have this resolution. So I would like for the county attorney to explain how, just for the general public, why this is important and how this doesn't cause the dissolution of the Lake Norman Marine Commission, because when Lincoln County declared that they were going to pull out, that's what dissolved it. So if you could speak to that, Attorney Wade.
Certainly. Thank you, Commissioner Powell. That's correct. Under the enacting legislation that created the Lake Norman Marine Commission, the provision provided that one of the 4 counties could voluntarily, unilaterally remove themselves from the commission. If they opted to do that, which Lincoln County did do, that would then essentially dissolve the commission effective at the end of that fiscal year, which for this time would be June 30th. Because it is dissolved, then we felt necessary to revise a resolution that gave jurisdiction to all the law enforcement officers who, if they felt the need to effect some type of corrective action, they would have authority across the entire lake as well as the shorelines. In my conversation with other attorneys for those counties, we revised the resolution because initially the resolution reflected the Lake Norman Marine Commission. It is no longer in existence, so it's revised to now capture the current situation.
And so this resolution was crafted with all the other counties together.
Yes.
Thank
It's a
you.
joint resolution with Catawba, Iredell, as well as Lincoln and Mecklenburg, and Cornelius.
I appreciate all of your work, and I know it was a lot to jump into this. And thank you for clarifying. I appreciate it.
Let me too jump on this and say thank you for the work, attorney, that you produced to make this clearer for those of us who are not knowledgeable about the lakes.
Absolutely.
And that information is important to the general public. And that's why I pull consent items, so we can share this information. They will have what we have, which they are due. So, Mr. Manager, thank you for your input also tonight, being here with us. And Mr. Chairman, I so move.
Second. Seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Madam Clerk, we're going to move to Commissioner reports. I'm going to start with Commissioner Powell, then Townsend Ingram.
Good information.
So there aren't very many people here, and maybe that's good for me. But when I learned that Rusty Roselle had died last week, I really feel like part of my heart cracked. And I just want to talk about, I want to honor him now and every day. I first met him, he's Director of Water Quality for Mecklenburg County for 46 years. And so I first met him 35 years ago when I worked at Presbyterian Hospital. And when I think about what a hero is, first thing that would come to my mind, a couple weeks ago would be like a pediatric neurosurgeon or an intensivist that works with young children who have debilitating illness. And so a lot of it is pediatrics. They're my heroes because they are so committed to making a difference for humanity. It doesn't matter who the patient is, they're so committed to it. And so when I was lucky enough to meet Rusty 35 years ago, I already knew some of his good work 35 years ago in water quality, because I consider people who work to protect the environment for people in the hero category, as well as the pediatric neurosurgeons. And so when I met him at the hospital, I just remembered thinking wow, how lucky am I to even be standing next to this person. And all the years that went by, the things that we worked on, the post-construction control ordinances and all the different things that we worked on, he was always the same. He was always so calm and committed to protecting our water for future generations, and he gave it everything he had. And he was just such an invaluable treasure to Mecklenburg County that I don't think people, I guess you knew if you were concerned about environment or water quality, but he's just known like beyond the region, like throughout the state and probably throughout the whole Southeast. And it's a huge loss for us. And I'm going to talk about it more as time goes on, but I just want to honor him and all the work that he did. And I hope that he knew how much we appreciated and loved him throughout his years. I sure hope so, because I feel like when he came to the Palisades, like you guys expressed your gratitude for him. But anyway, it's just his funeral's tomorrow, and it's just been really hard on me. And he's just a real life hero. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Townsend Ingram.
I want to say I'm so very sorry, and I feel your pain, to Commissioner Powell. I wanted to just lift up Commissioner Susan Rodriguez McDowell and I went to an event called the Youth Mental Health Summit. And Sam, who was here, part of Greenlight Foundation, and there were some others, and I maybe you can fill in the gaps for me. But that, you have to really look to find some really good stuff. And this week, apparently some really great things have been happening, and we're doing some things right. But the mental health program, and mental health is one of my priorities, and particularly as it relates to children and in CMS schools. This one little small thing, the results that they have had, and it involves UNCC, Dr. Shore, I've worked with her before, she's phenomenal. She pulls data, she does the research. This one little small 5-minute thing, we had all kinds of representatives there talking about what an impact this small 5-minute thing did for all of them, from the teachers who actually participated to the very young students, and it impacts them when they take it home. And it's basically like a little shark fin thing where they recenter, they listen to this 5-minute thing, and they have this mantra that they say, and little kids are teaching it to their parents, and they're doing it outside of school, and it has made a tremendous behavioral difference. And I wish that I could just get the video of the whole thing, and we even had fun, but it was just a tremendous thing. I really want to be able to have a presentation. I invited them here, GYSEP, one of the gentlemen, Mr. Smith, he talked about, he's a black male, one of the only black males that was up there on the panel, and I asked a specific question about how the program that he is encouraging and that he does with his students in this after-school program, how it's impacted the perception of young black men, because they are deemed to be a little bit more aggressive than other children. And he said it's like night and day. They really, it is something that is beneficial to them. So I just wanted to lift that up. I invited them here to speak to us here in the chamber, and hopefully they'll have the opportunity to do that. But I can't even think of the name. Maybe Commissioner Rodriguez McDowell can fill in the gaps, but I'll just remember the shark fin thing.
Perfect segue. Commissioner Rodriguez McDowell.
Thank you for the segue. I also was thinking of our board and how we could use those techniques to help us calm and center ourselves. So, yeah, that really was a great event. I wanted to, for my commissioner report, I wanted to make a statement that is really important to me. As a locally elected official, I want to address and denounce the recent actions of ICE in Mecklenburg County. There has been a disturbing increase in intimidating and aggressive activity. Even today, the agency descended upon a church preschool on Central Avenue with nearly a dozen vehicles. The fear that these tiny innocent residents of our county are feeling is real and completely uncalled for. I believe that the people of Mecklenburg County want a fully reformed and functioning immigration system whereby all people are treated with dignity, respect, and due process. Until such a time that our elected leaders in Congress come together in good faith to make necessary reforms, we need a government which does not abuse and terrorize the vulnerable. We need a government that respects human dignity and does not treat as criminals all who may be either documented legal residents, undocumented but not guilty of any crimes, refugees, or migrants seeking asylum, and those on temporary protected status, also not guilty of any crimes. They are documented and yet still being terrorized. There's no immigration status that automatically makes someone a criminal. Immigration violations are civil matters, not criminal, and should not be treated as such unless accompanied by actual crimes. Being an immigrant does not make someone suspect. The type of approach that is being utilized is egregious and un-American at its core. I call on ICE to voluntarily respect sensitive locations such as schools, courthouses, workplaces, hospitals, and places of worship. No one should fear utilizing these places. I call on ICE to stop racial profiling of workers in trucks and vans and to stop using aggressive tactics on individuals who are not suspected of crimes. I call on ICE to find actual criminals who put the public at risk, not parents who are just trying to survive and provide for their families. I call upon all of us who believe in the rule of law and the American way to denounce mistreatment and abuse of vulnerable people and demand that lawmakers in Washington get busy on actual comprehensive immigration reform and fix our broken system. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Meyer.
Have to follow that? Sorry. That was amazing. Thank you. Speaking of mental health, tomorrow night there's a conversation on mental health and well-being among our youth at Myers Park High School at 6 o'clock. Myers Park has been hit pretty hard with youth suicides, and I was invited to go, and I will be there, and you're all invited if you're interested. 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Leek.
I just want to support this young lady speaking about those who are being intimidated as they present themselves, and the law enforcement is taking advantage of some issues. And that's coming from the top down. So we need to, as a political community, speak to those issues and address those issues because it's them today, me tonight, not next week, not tomorrow, but tonight. So I'm supporting you 100%, whatever I can do to enhance this process. But, Mr. Chairman, I ache every day when I listen to the news and hear that 16 and 17-year-olds are shooting and killing each other in this community. Not in another community, but yes, but in our own community. Woman coming from work, young people trying to make a living. We must speak to the violence in this community. There are people who are being silent and saying not one word about the problem we're having. So I'm asking us to be an agent of one to try to say to our young people, you are important, we love you, and we're going to help you to be what you want to be. So again, you set the example, Mr. Chairman, sitting here as a young black man being chairman of a county commissioner. This is visible. They should see that if you do the right things, you can get the right results. And seeing our new manager coming in tonight, he could have said no and stayed home with his family. But I want to say thank you, son. You sound good and you look good. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Griffin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just briefly, want to give a shout out to our public library system. Just received the picture this afternoon that the library on Beatties-Ford Road has the name on the outside, Allegra Westbrooks Regional Library. And the importance of that is Ms. Westbrooks was a real leader in the African-American community. In fact, she was the supervisor of the first public library in North Carolina for African Americans. They call it the Colored Library on the Brevard Street, on the corner of Brevard and Second. And she played a significant role in my life by giving me little gold stars during summer reading months over off of Brevard Street, and thousands of other African Americans who used that library in the 50s. And clearly, she was promoted as the very first supervisor for the main public library in downtown Charlotte, and was a leader in our community. So with her name on the outside of that building, as thousands of young people will drive by or utilize that facility, I'm hoping that they'll wonder and open up, say, who in the heck was Allegra Westbrooks? And Google her and pull her up to see the significance of that and contributions that she made in the community. But more particularly, her focus and emphasis on making sure that young kids were reading, and she had a real focus, Commissioner Lee. She always wanted to make sure young black elementary school boys were able to read. And so I wanted to just lift up the significance of her name on that building and thank the Charlotte Mecklenburg Library for making that happen. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, and thank all my colleagues. This information, these reports have been really important, and I always appreciate this time. A few items I want to lift up. I certainly want to start with some shout-outs. This past weekend, we had our third annual Intergovernmental Summit at the Bowplex. Myself, Chair Sneed, and Mayor Pro Tem Dante Anderson. I want to thank our staff, particularly PI, for all of their assistance. Kay Tembo, just a amazing, phenomenal worker, someone who is accessible anytime. I want to just say thank you to Kay. Staying along the line and the thread of PI, I want to congratulate Suzette. It's phenomenal that you will be leading over there. So we are excited and want to publicly say congratulations to you. Leading.
I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
I thought he said you were leaving.
No, she's not leaving. She's just getting started, by the way. Also want to, along those lines, though, want to say thank you so much to Andy Fair for stepping in the gap in the interim and for all his hard work. And I want to be remiss if we did not shout him out, so I want to say thank you to Andy. And finally, I want to thank or congratulate Michael Griswold. An announcement was made about him becoming the director in that department, and I think we kind of, not intentionally, but it was made and people were happy. But I wanted to publicly say congratulations to Michael. He is just a phenomenal individual, and we are lucky to have him and very proud of him in his journey. And so I wanted to definitely shout him out. And the final thing that I want to say is Commissioner Rodriguez-McDowell and Commissioner Lee, thank you both for lifting up the issue of ICE. Thank you for another powerful statement, Commissioner Rodriguez-McDowell. I've been able to witness you make some very powerful statements over the years that we've served together. But this is an extremely important issue. And to that end, I mean, I don't want to go back into it. You teed it up beautifully. But I would like to shout out one of our colleagues, Representative Amelia Stinson-Wesley, who is representative out of Pineville. And to that point, she is a minister. She works out of District 4. And when she found out Amelia Stinson-Wesley,
She lives in District 6.
She lives in District 6. She works in District 4. And so, but to that end, I really wanted to acknowledge her. She is a minister by profession. And when she heard about what was going on, she and another minister, and I don't know that minister's name, but they rushed to the scene to provide support to those families. And sometimes just showing up means something.
That's right.
And as elected officials, we shouldn't only show up when there's 10,000 people out there, but if there's 2 people that are hurting, we should stand in the gap, which you guys do all the time. But I'd be remiss if I did not lift her up and that other minister for going out there to stand up, not knowing what you can do, but like I said, sometimes showing up is more than enough, and people do see that and appreciate that. So I just want to thank her publicly for that. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.